you doing? Dave Tell here. I'm recording a little video here because I know that some of you, unable to get to Pasadena City College's lab, are finding yourselves without a set of drums to practice on. But don't panic. Even though the drums are a very sophisticated instrument, we do have the ability to fabricate a make-do drum set with things that may be around your house. It's not ideal, but it's enough to probably get you by for the purpose of practicing the patterns and the techniques that we're working on in Music 116. So much of what we're dealing with is about learning to send signals in the right place. So if you have something that at least approximates the sound you'd have at a real drum set, the signal sending practice that's going on in your brain is really actually about the same. You'll build a lot of coordination and technique, and then when you get the chance to get back on a real drum set, you'll really feel that growth. Trying to be practical, I looked around my house and to see if I could find some things that I could use to just have the experience of playing a drum set. To start off, I looked around in my backyard and I found this Home Depot 5-gallon tub. You might not have one of these, but if you go to Ace Hardware or Home Depot, if they're still open, this is $3.22. You may have something similar to it. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be a small plastic bucket, but there's a decent sound to these tubs. And actually, these are the ones you see people playing along the side of the street when you walk around a major city in New York. You don't get as much bounce as a drum would give you, but you get about the same as some pads do, and you get a decent sound, just a little bit of throat, a little bit more than you would with a pad. And they have a rim on them, so that if you're familiar with rim shots, which we haven't actually started talking about yet, you have the ability to make use of those. If you just use your hands, you can almost get a good beat right out of there. So I'm using this today as my snare drum, and to get it at the right height, I found a cardboard box that I'm just putting the thing on upside down and straddling it. Now, for the bass drum, there isn't a lot you can do if you don't have a bass drum pedal and you don't have a drum. But this is where you have to just stomp your foot and hope for the best. If you're in a room that has a little bit of space underneath it, neighbors perhaps, maybe you can stomp your foot and get a little bit of sound. But if you're on a cement floor or something like that, you can still get a good tap out of your right foot, and the feeling of moving your leg is still there. So for bass drum notes. And then to simulate the hi-hat, I took a cardboard box, and then I needed to get it up a little higher and not have it fall right off. So I put something on a couple of pillows. What I have here is a round cake pan, and then I took the shelf piece, the little tray from my toaster oven, and I just taped it loosely on there so you get a little bit of rattle. It doesn't sound anything like a hi-hat, but it's got a little crack to it. It might actually be kind of hip on a hip-hop record or something. Okay, so you put it on here. Okay. If you don't like the crashy sound, the other one that I found in my drawer of pans was this old camping pan. And you could use both of those. You could put the camping pan on a box on your right, and it sounds a little bit more like a bell. Not a bad sound, actually. So, a little creativity, and you can come up with something that'll be good enough for you to be able to practice some of the patterns. Again, it's nothing like playing on a real drum set, but if it's your only option, it's enough for you to continue to learn for this class, and then when you get back to a real drum set, all that coordination you built up will be waiting there for you, and you can plug it right into the sound of the real drums. By the way, one last suggestion, and that is that if you have a set of brushes, we're going to be talking about brushes shortly, but if you already have a set, they sound really nice on all of these things. And I like the way the brushes sound on the little crash thing that I made. Geez, maybe I'll use that on my next record. Anyway, I hope this is informative. I'll be posting a separate video shortly with a lesson about what we would be doing this Friday. I want you to make sure and check it out. But this gives you a little bit of direction if you can't get a hold of a drum set so that you can keep working on the material for this class. Hope it's helpful, and don't hesitate to send me an email if you have questions. All right, stick with it and stay healthy.